Hi, this is David. In my last video, I introduced you to Kusto Query Language, KQL, which is a language that's built into Azure Data Explorer to allow you to query data. It's a little bit like SQL, Structured Query Language, in that it allows you to sort and filter and aggregate, but it has a lot of functions built into it specifically designed for time series data. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, is analyzing your time series data using KQL. To get started, I actually have already created an ADX cluster. You can watch the Getting Started video earlier in the series to see how to do that. And I've also created the database. Right here, it's called GCast DB. And I'm going to query that database. I'll just go out here on a new tab and do storage or dataexplorer.azure.com right here. I could also get that from the portal here under query, and on the query blade there's actually a button, open in web UI. That's the same thing. But what I want to do is right here, I'm going to select this database right here, and I'm going to create a table called drone data using the create merge table right there. So that created a table, and let's look at the columns here. I've got an ID column, a timestamp, a latitude and a longitude, and some battery life information. So imagine this is just tracking data that a drone, as it's flying around, it's sending out where it is and what the level of battery is. And I'll just put some records in there like this, some sample data. And if I do drone data with no filter and no take, you'll see there's 14 rows in here. And it's only tracking one drone right now, but it's tracking it over time. And I think those are in order. If I say order by timestamp ascending, you should see, if I spell everything correctly, see that the time is, it looks like about 15 minutes apart is where I'm populating this. What KQL offers some interesting functions that'll help you to analyze that a little bit better. So for example, what if I wanted to determine the change in battery life from one timestamp to the next? So from here, here it is from 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, I'm tracking the battery life, and so I'm not really charging it. It does seem to be going down, but maybe I want to keep track of how much it goes down between each 15-minute period. That'd be a little bit difficult to do in SQL, but not in KQL, because KQL has a function called Prev. Prev is right here in the docs, and what it does, it returns a specific value from the previous row. Now, in order to use this function, you have to sort the data. So you have to have an order by clause in there before you can call the prev function. But once you have that, it's really nice. So what I'm going to do is this query right here. Order by timestamp, and I'm going to project all these columns here plus this extra column, prev battery. I'll spell it all out. Previous battery life, and that is just passing the battery life to the previous function. Because it's in timestamp order, it'll do this. And if there is no previous function, it'll just return a null. So let me run that function right there, and you'll see they're all in timestamp order, ascending, and this one has no previous battery life, so there's nothing to report there. But here, the previous battery life, it just simply projects the previous one. You see it right there, 99.6, 99.6, from here to here, etc. Now, how is that useful? Well, maybe I want to take that value and extend. So I'll add an extra function here, and I'll say battery life change equals battery life minus previous battery life. That's when it becomes interesting. Now we see it's going down -0.1, -0.2, -0.1, and we see really how often. It didn't change at all here. It changed 0.2 here. And this is useful information. Are there certain times when it's draining more, maybe traveled further, traveled faster? We probably have some more information to make that more interesting, but we could plot that and see how fast is it's going down and what factors are making it drain a lot faster in that time period. And just like, yeah, there's a Prev function, as you might guess, there is also a next function. There's even Cumulative Sum function, which is kind of nice. So these functions allow you to analyze time series data over time, taking into account the row before. Something that's a little bit difficult to do in most query languages. That's one useful feature of KQL with time series data. The other one has to do with aggregation. In the last video, when I was showing the KQL basics, I talked about aggregation. And generally, when you aggregate, you're going to aggregate on a certain column. You'll say, show me all of the sum of the sales by zip code. I think was the sample that I gave. But there's another function in KQL that you can aggregate on called the bin function. And what the bin function does is it allows you to roll up this data and into a single bucket. So for example, right now the data is coming in about every 15 minutes. Imagine if I only wanted one row per hour. And that might be useful if I have millions of rows and I don't want to show millions of rows of data. I only want to show rows every single day or every single hour or every 3 hours and 15 minutes, whatever I want to do. We would use the bin function to do that. It would essentially, if I did it by hour, that it would roll up all of the rows for that hour into a single row. Now, if you roll them up, you have to. That brings up the question: now, which one? What am I going to use? Do I want to present, for example, the battery life at that time? Do I want to present the first value in there or the last value? Do I want to average it or whatever? And there are some interesting functions in here. So here's the bin function. Just essentially tells you what value, what column you want to roll it up on, and then how much do you want to roll it up to. So for time series data, this would be a time span. You could also do it for numeric data, in which case you would want to, like, every 5 or every 10 roll it up. But to roll it up by time series, you use something like this. And then to specify which row to use, there are some interesting functions like argmax, argmin. Of course, we have average and things like that. We could just roll them up by that. But argmax and argmin are really interesting because what they will do is it says, okay, if these are the 4 rows that constitute the hour, I only want the last row. Give me this value right here. In fact, give me all the values corresponding with that last row. Again, it would be difficult to do that writing SQL, but we can do it in KQL. Let me show you an example using this data. In this case, I've added the summarize, and I'm summarizing by bin on the timestamp column here, and I want to summarize by hour. So I only want one row, even though looks like there's 4 rows per hour here, because I'm posting data every 15 minutes. I only want 1 row per hour instead. And when I want that row, I'm telling it I want the argmax. So if this happens to be the last row in the hour, that's the row that I want. Let me show you that in action. There's the results of that query. Now, if we look at this timestamp, we only see those rows per hour. 10:45. Where am I here? And 11:45. Now, it's not exactly because there's some data that's missing here, so it got close sometimes, but they are by hour, and it's always using the last row in that series, whatever the value of that is. In this video, I've shown you some useful functions to use when analyzing time series data with Kusto Query Language. This is David. Thank you for watching.